Okay, we're rolling. Okay. So first, I want to start by saying thank you for agreeing to let me interview you.
No problem.
And go ahead and start with your name or what you want us to call you.
Byron.
Byron.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Byron? Like your age?
Well, I'm 39 years old. Um, Grew up in San Jose my whole entire life. Um, um,
Do you come from a small family or a large family?
uh, I'm not sure. I'm adopted, but I have two different families. Um,
What do you mean by two different families? Your adopted family and your...
one of my first adopted family took me back when I was 8 years old. And then I got adopted out again when I was 11. I know that was late, but
Why did you get you from a different family? You were
yeah,
adopted.
yeah.
Why? What happened? Let's back it up. Uh, You where were you before you were adopted at 8?
With my first adopted family.
Your first they kept you from the time you were born till you were 8.
18. Well, see, I was found in a garbage can at 18 days old. You know what I'm saying?
Where at?
Frisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
And were you born addicted to drugs or anything? They found you in a garbage can.
Yeah.
And how old were you?
18 days old.
18 days old. And then this family
Yeah.
adopted you until you were 8.
Yeah.
And why did they unadopt?
The husband was going overseas
Uh-huh.
for his job, so they wanted to bring me over there, expose me or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and they.
How did you feel at 8 years old when that was going on? Did you at that time know that they had found you,
I knew I was adopted.
but you didn't know the extremity of
Yeah, I
it?
didn't know the extremity of everything.
So, did they immediately give you to another family, or did you go into a foster?
Foster care for 3 years.
So,
Then I got adopted again when I was 11.
and what was foster care like?
Foster care, I mean, a lot of different attitudes you got to mess with.
Were you mistreated, or
So what?
were you mistreated?
This lady, she was always, she was really lax. Really, really lax.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about like, you could stay out till 10 o'clock at nighttime if you want to.
Really, this was this was a foster mom.
Yeah, like 9 years old, like staying out till 10. It was cool. Everybody got their shit done,
Mm-hmm.
and excuse me, everybody got their stuff done, and they made it happen.
Yeah. Were there a lot? Was it a group home like that you were living in, or was
It
it a
was like-
family that just had lots of kids?
It was like a foster care type of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she a single foster mom?
Yeah.
And did she do it?
She had
'cause
hella kids.
She had because she cared about hella kids, or just because?
She had like Lee, John.
Did you feel like she cared about all you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, she loved you
Yeah,
guys.
she had her back. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Okay. Back to when your family left you, your first adopted family, when
Right.
they left you at 8.
Right.
What do you remember that when you were 8 years old?
I mean, I remember the whole process, but
What does an 8-year-old go through at that point? I mean, how did you feel?
you know what? At a young age, I was learning to lean on the Lord. So,
You learned how to lean on the Lord?
yeah.
Praise
so
God.
I mean, I knew where to go to. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So,
Did that make you feel unloved or unwanted?
No,
No, because you had God on your side.
exactly.
Praise God. So you were in this foster home, the same foster home for 3 years,
Yeah, same one.
and then another family.
Yeah, that's
What's that process? How does that happen?
It's a long.
They just come and meet you? I mean,
it's a long drawn out process because you either stay on the list
to get adopted?
yeah, or you can just go into foster care, and I was like, no, I want to get adopted. You know what I'm saying?
And so now you're being adopted at 11 years old,
Yeah.
and you're in what grade by then?
Fourth grade.
How was school before you got adopted the second time? Did you interact with the other children good,
You know what, I
or did you
did,
feel
but
different?
I used to tell a lot of lies though when I was young. You know what I'm saying?
Because maybe
a lot of lies.
was it because maybe of shame of because I can relate from shame of where you came from or who
Yeah, because I see all the other little kids like, yeah.
they got
me
their
and my
mom and dad.
I'm like, me and my dad's going to the Super Bowl.
So you would make
Yeah,
elaborate
And
stories.
then my teacher would be like, okay, Byron, how was the Super Bowl? It was all right. The Super Bowl was yesterday. It's like I'm not gonna fly away from New Orleans all the way to
Yeah.
overnight.
Uh-huh.
If I would have went to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be at school on Monday. So
Yeah. So when you were 11 and you're starting to get adopted out, how were you going to explain that to your friends? Were you going to have to change schools?
yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
Um, like I was a man on campus because
You were excited.
every new kid at this new school is gonna get all.
Were you scared about being adopted?
No.
You longed for that family, that belonging.
I mean, it's just more of a what's that word?
The
More
belonging,
of a-
but yeah, not alone.
Yeah, more of a personal relationship you
That's
have
awesome,
with,
yes.
with the caregivers.
So, your second family that adopted you,
Right.
were they a good family?
Yeah, they were cool.
Were they abusive at all?
No, no.
How many children were in the family?
3 boys and one girl.
And which, were you the youngest?
Yeah, I was the youngest.
Youngest. And were you babied?
Nah.
No. Did you get love and affection when you were growing up? I mean, hugs and kisses?
I mean, I didn't grow up with that motherly love that, oh yeah, these are my teats and none of that.
No, it was still a distant relationship. No, but we all deserve that love and that connection.
I know we deserve it, but
And God's got plans for you. That's all.
It's not reality for all of us.
Yeah, and well, God bless you, because you know what? You walk around here, I'm going to tell you, with your head up high, and you have a pretty, at least what you project is a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And, we all think that our story, is worse until we hear somebody else's,
Mm.
And you have not given up on life, I see.
No.
And that's a beautiful thing, that you are able to love and to receive love from people, being the fact on where you have come from. That's that's rough. I wouldn't call it gutter. That's rough. That's a lot to chew on for a young child. When you grew up in the second family that adopted you, and you were now in what, middle school, going into middle school?
Yeah, about to go into middle school.
How were your new adopted siblings with you? Did they welcome you?
For the most part.
Were they adopted, or were they natural from their parents?
They were natural.
Yeah, so you're the only adopted one. But they welcomed you, or did they make you feel like...
For the most part, I mean, I was substantially younger than all of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was one brother that was he's 6.5 years older than me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so then the other ones are like 15 years older than 16.
Okay, so there was only maybe 1 or
17,
2 of them still living in the home?
One.
One. Did you guys, did you hurt for anything, or were they well off?
We weren't well off, but I mean, I played youth football,
Uh-huh.
baseball.
You were active in school.
Yeah, I was active in school and stuff like that.
You
Not
did
saying
good grades?
I didn't say good grades, but I was active though.
Uh-huh. Did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
Oh, see,
did some college too.
Oh, that's great. So, when you were, let's go forward.
Sure.
When you were going into high school, when you started playing football and stuff, did any of your trauma from your childhood start to come up or surface in maybe the way you were interacting with other high school kids, or did you start drinking, or?
My ninth grade year, I don't know. I guess it kind of a little bit came out. I was a little frustrated. But I found out that my real father found out he was murdered in Stockton.
Oh my goodness!
And I just met him like 2 weeks before that.
How did you go about to find him, to meet him?
They connected us together.
Who did?
The agency.
A network.
Yeah.
Because you reached out and asked for that?
Yeah, and they found him, and I went to go meet him when he was at his dad's funeral, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness. And then 2 weeks later?
2 weeks later, he just got out of prison.
How did that make you feel at that time?
I mean, I can't really care about what I don't know about, but on the same token...
Yeah, you could have fell into a severe state of depression or wallowing, why me? I mean, that would be completely understandable and expected. I mean, that's you had quite a cross to bear all them years, and then you finally meet your birth father. That had to be very troubling.
True that, but crying does nothing but make you look silly for
Who
about 5
taught you
minutes.
that? Who says that?
You know what? I just didn't grow up with all the. It's all the.
It's okay to cry. It cleanses our soul. It's okay to cry.
That's
Nothing's wrong with crying, and nothing's wrong with leaning on people sometime. You know, when you're hurting. Whatever came. Did you guys ever try to locate your mother or?
I don't know about my mother.
No. But did your father ever give you any?
I barely just met him.
No.
Like
So just the
15 minutes
surface.
before, and then
That's
2 weeks
just
later,
horrible.
I was supposed to meet up with him again and supposed to talk about things. And
So you're in what grade when this happened?
ninth.
Okay, so how does the rest of ninth grade finish? Did you
I
rebel?
ended up getting kicked out of school because he got murdered in April 26th. You know what I'm saying?
And you acted out from that point
Yeah,
on?
I was at Santa Teresa High School and I got sent to Andrew Hill. I stayed there for about a week. I got kicked out of that school.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but then went to Oak Grove High School.
Oak Grove, that's right where I grew up, area.
Yeah.
So, did you start drinking or doing drugs at that time or no?
I think I might have rolled one joint in ninth grade, but
Did you have girlfriends?
I mean, I got girls I see, and I never had a steady girlfriend in ninth grade. Nah.
Okay, so
I was a jock.
let's go. You were a jock.
Yeah.
So you had lots of friends, though.
Tons.
Tons of friends. So you weren't alone,
No.
which is very important. I'm glad to hear that. So you go on to graduate,
Yes.
and after you graduate, what happens?
After I graduate, I get my real estate license.
You get a real estate
Actually,
license.
first, I start selling cars for Frontier Ford. Made professional wages doing that.
That is where I bought my first vehicle. That
Really?
is so funny. Yes, it was a Ford Escort.
Made professional wages doing that. Then somebody suggested, one of my clients, that, hey, you know what, man? I wasn't even going to come out of this car lot and buy a car, but you made me want to buy a car.
So
You should do real estate.
he motivated
I
you.
said, you know what? I think I'm going to do real estate.
So you get your...
You know what? I quit my job. I started doing another job so I could study for more real estate license instead of doing that because I used to make a lot of money to do with selling cars. So I could,
Uh-huh.
I stopped. No, stop. Got a telemarketing job.
Where were you living at this time during all this?
A condo on the south side.
With who?
Myself.
Oh, you were doing okay, huh?
I'm a
So
guy-
right now, substance abuse is not in the picture.
No, I wasn't even worried about using because I was making money. I don't care about using it.
Uh-huh.
No.
So you have your real estate license, and how long did you have in practice as a realtor?
7 years.
So you sold quite a few houses.
I did all right.
You were doing
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you have children yourself?
Yeah, I got one child.
When did you have your child?
When I was 25.
So right around the time you were practicing real estate or just getting into it.
Yeah, it's getting out of it. Really.
And did you stay active in your child's life?
You know what? As active as I could possibly get.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you got your real estate license. What happened with that?
Well, what happened with that is I caught a violent felony.
What? But okay, I remember hearing something about this. So you're helping a friend out, right?
Technically, yeah.
Okay. You don't have to get into detail about your case, but it was a violent thing.
Yeah.
So, which one could even speculate to say maybe that's of all the trauma you've been through, built up, and it being let out.
Well, I mean, on the same token, I didn't do anything that somebody else wouldn't do with one
You're
of their
very
friends.
well, and without invading totally your privacy, I don't want to talk about the case just because I don't want judgment to be passed, or I don't know the details of anybody else that's
Right.
involved, so I don't want to hit that if you don't mind. You know,
I
just
see.
because I don't want nothing to ever come back and spank you, or haunt you because of something you said. Or like I said, I don't know the details. Not saying necessarily that would happen, but to avoid all that.
Right.
Okay, but so you end up in a violent situation,
Mm.
and because you're assisting somebody, and you catch a felony,
Mm.
you go to jail.
Prison.
Is this your first time in jail and in prison at that point?
The time before that, it was just like, pretty much like overnight or 2 nights or something like
So
that.
you're still a real estate agent at this point in time, correct?
Until I got my violent felony.
So you catch your violent felony, they send you to prison.